Hi, I'm really excited to be here too. My name's Catherine Taylor. I live in Cornwall, UK, and I'm an alchemist, connector, and celebrity. And I think I really connected with the alchemist. And I think I remember once Denise saying, like, not really having to prepare and just kind of turning up, and it just happens. And that really happens to me. I just kind of turn up and things just happen, and I just know what to say, and it just like all comes out of me. And so that was really validating. I'm a ceramic artist. I also create installations, and over the last couple of years, I've been hosting grief rituals as well. So I've been kind of going more into the healing arts area, which has been really incredible. And knowing my archetypes has really helped me see how it all fits together. I bring people together as the connector, then I create the rituals as the alchemist, and my art is in there as well. And then the celebrity is kind of the performance and holding space. So it just feels like those all really work together.
Okay, thank you so much for your beautiful introductions. And what I would love to go straight into, right? We're just going to jump straight into sabotages. So think pre-SMA, before you knew that you were a maverick or you're an alchemist or the other archetypes. Where was that sabotaging you? So yeah, I would just love to just dive into, how is your archetypes unknowingly sabotaging your business? And we'll just go around in the same order again.
First thing that comes to mind when you talked about sabotages was just thinking that I'm not really valuing my ideas and my talents, because I've always been really good at like making things and creating things, and I think for a long time I just didn't charge enough for what I was making, and just been having so many ideas that I never really followed through on things. I never could finish anything because I start making something and then I'm kind of on to the next thing, or so there was no kind of continuity. And I think that's something I've learned how to create collections and sort of have something from start to finish, and not just put it aside for the next thing. I still do that a bit. I still do that a bit because I just get really excited, and also realizing that yes, I have loads of ideas, but I don't have to do them all, and I don't have time to do them all. And I think I used to get really just stuck on making a decision on moving forward because I didn't know what to go with, what idea I wanted to carry forward. So I never really did anything. So I think for a long time when I was younger, that kind of really held me back. And I think, and just kind of, yeah, just not valuing myself and my talents. I think that's the main thing. And realizing there's always going to be more ideas and they're valuable. And I do inspire people, and that's okay. And I used to hate being the center of attention, but I still kind of find it a bit difficult. But I think knowing that I've got that celebrity has kind of allowed me to step into that and be in the limelight and it be okay. And like, yes, I can come and I can perform, and then I can just go away and be on my own for ages, and that's absolutely fine. And there are those two sides of me, and just kind of allowing myself to be in the limelight. I think I would just used to hide away and or give myself a really hard time. Like I'd overanalyze things I'd said or what I'd done, and get really negative and give myself a really hard time instead of focusing on, well, people got really a lot out of that, whether I thought it was any good. If people are kind of giving me really positive feedback, just kind of go accepting that, and that's okay. And I don't have to overanalyze and sort of think, oh, I should have done it this way, I should have done it that way.
Hearing that acceptance, because the shame, that I think a few of you have touched on, of going, I'm not allowed to be who I am. I'm not allowed to be this lucky, and second guessing that ability. Anyone can answer this one. I wrote my first book, Lucky Bitch, because that's what my friends were calling me. They were like, oh, you're such a lucky bitch. But even hearing that from a young age of going, oh, you think you're so good, or you think that, rules don't apply to you. It was kind of that feedback of going, to second guess it. As a kid, you kind of believe in that magic. And then people tell you, hang on, not everyone's like this, or it's going to run out. And, you might have been called a flake. You might have been called a lucky bitch like me. Were there anyone can answer this one? Were there any nicknames that you had as a kid, or things that you were teased about for this magical ability that made you second guess it, whether it's shame from other people or just that shame from yourself of going, oh, I shouldn't do this?
I really related to what Anna was saying, that thing like people saying that you're lucky, but actually they don't see all the work that's gone behind it, and I've been really good over the years at getting grants, but they're really hard work. To think up of something, write the proposal, go through it all, and the amount of times I've applied for things and not got it, and so people kind of think that it's easy or you're lucky, but they don't kind of really see the work that goes into it. And I think that's something that I don't think I've had like really massive like of negative feedback, but just that people thinking that I have it easy. And also I think because of my celebrity, I kind of look like I'm doing much better than I actually am. I look like I'm really successful. Well, I am, but then, my bank account might not reflect it. But, I'm doing really well. I've got the show here, I'm selling there and all the rest of it. So I'm really good at making it look amazing from the outside. But people think, oh, you've got it easy or you've got it much better than I really have in some ways.
So I just want to pivot to, there's a question I've been asking each group, as I alluded to before, about what makes you excited to join a program or a course, and what turns you off?
Yeah, yes, I'm an absolutely massive fan of Denise, and I haven't bought a lot of programs, but I think for me, it's like it is about the person as well. And before I joined Money Bootcamp, I'd read all your books, I'd watched every video you've probably ever put out anywhere, and just kind of really immerse myself in that world and just kind of love what you had to say. And as soon as I could join, I joined. And I think for me also it was you did the British pounds, and when we could do it over 12 months or whatever it was, what that's called. And that kind of was really good. It's like, oh, a way for me to get in. And I think I waited for that to come round, because I thought, right, I'm going to make sure I've got the money because I really want to join this time. And I was kind of ready to go. But I think for me, it does take me quite a long time because it is quite a big investment. So I really need to know that this is the person I want to work with, and I just knew I needed to join boot camp. And I think what really bugs me is also those like massive long sales pages that never tell you how much it is. I just think, just tell me how much it is. I don't want to have to scroll and then still have to click something before I find out. That really, really bugs me. And I just won't bother. I just think, oh, well, I can't be bothered. So yeah, I just need to know up front so I can budget for it. So I can save up for it or whatever. I just need to know. Yeah. And just someone who's genuine and honest and I can relate to. I think that's really, really important.
I would love to hear actually about your combination of archetypes and how that shows up for you, because what I see sometimes is that some combinations really supercharge like the good stuff, and like it's like, oh, well, I've got this and this, and so I'm unstoppable. But some of those things cancel each other out, and some of the things amplify your sabotages. And so, I would love to hear if you have any awareness around that, of how that is showing up for you, or if there's even just like you're kind of ignoring some of your archetypes and you're suppressing them.
Loving all this. Yeah, so I'm a alchemist, connector, and celebrity, and they're all pretty close together. I can't remember the exact figures, but there was only like a few points between each of them, so they were really close together. And I think for me, it's really helped me understand and create a business model that works for me. And I think one of the things that was, I think you said at one time, Denise, was about being an alchemist and not promising you're going to follow up with something. And that was like, wow, I can do that. And I really have to hold myself back and not say, oh yes, and I'll send you this thing or I'll send you that thing. No, I'm not going to do that, because I'll just forget and just won't do it, and don't want to do it. So that was a revelation. I absolutely love that. And I think the way they work together, for me, it's just incredible. You know, I've got the alchemist, which kind of is the, you know, the ideas, and I create things, and then I can put on the show, and then I can show up for the private view and be the celebrity, and the connector will bring and attract all those people to it. And so that has been amazing for me, and it's really made me see how I can kind of like bring it all together, and just kind of allowing myself to just do what I want to do and say no to the things I don't want to do. And I think what I do still struggle a little bit with, I keep thinking I want, because I have this idea of like something that could be a membership that, you know, people could sign up and they could, I started a Patreon page, right? And I got one person sign up and I haven't done anything with it. This is like 2 years ago, and I've got someone paying me every month. And I feel really bad, and I haven't done anything else with it. And I keep getting this, you know, one account, you know, someone in America sort of signed up. And then it's like, okay, well, I did do that, and I never followed through with it. It was a great idea, and I spent ages kind of create all, and I had all these different options. And then it was like, yeah, I'm bored of that. I don't want to do that anymore. So, but I keep thinking, oh, it'd be such a good thing to do, and I've got all these ideas, but I just know I'm not gonna follow through with it. So I've realized that I work better doing projects. I will do this for this amount of time, and you know, I don't know if it'll continue in the future. I don't know if I'll do it again. It's like at the moment I've created a retreat. I'm doing in September, I'm doing this 3-day retreat, and it's working with art and creativity and grief rituals, and this is beautiful place. But I don't know if I'll want to do it after I've done the first, you know, I might do it again in the future, but I just don't want to have that pressure of knowing that I've got to do it again next year, because I might not want to. I'll probably be on to the next thing. Yeah, so yeah, it is challenging, but I think my three seem to work really well together. And now I'm knowing and I'm seeing how they can work well together, and I just love it. And I really relate to them, and I really love the magic of being an alchemist. I think for me that is the big one, because what I do raku, so I'm working with all the elements, and I take things out of the kiln when they're red hot, and there's fire and there's smoke, and it's really exciting. And you know, I do demonstrations. I have my open studios, and people come and they watch me create these amazing things. And for me it's kind of easy. I mean, I've been doing it for like 30 odd years, but you know, I can create, and people are like, oh, how do you get that color with raku, and how do you do that? And it's just, oh, I just do it. Yeah, I'm a magician. I just do it, and I love it. But I just know that I can't work under pressure. I need to just be able to create. It's like yesterday, day before, I had a really bad day because I was having to work to a deadline. So it didn't work. So this pot I was making for a gallery, they wanted it, and they wanted this certain type. And because I had that pressure and I really didn't feel like being there, but I had to because that was the only day I had, it just didn't work. And I've just got to remember that it doesn't work for me. I hate doing commissions, because it's that external pressure of somebody wanting something a certain way. It just makes me tighten up, and I can't be in that creative flow. It's just like, it's crazy. I just can't do it. It always goes wrong, and I end up having to make loads of different versions, and I'm working for a pittance because I'm having to make different ones until I get it right. And it's just like, no, I'm just going to make something. If you like it, you can buy it. So that's kind of giving myself permission to just do that, and to just know that I'm going to create something and people are going to like it and respond to it, and not really, I mean, I do consider what people want, and I do have that back and forth and that conversation with my customers, but I also know that, yes, but I'm the magician, I'm the alchemist, I'm bringing something into being, and no one could ever know or suggest what I could create, and it's just going to come out, and then I will find the people who want it. I think that is the thing for me, and that's what's really helped me.
I'm really curious about that connector part of you, because connectors can sometimes really struggle with pricing, right? But do you think because of your celebrity, do you think your celebrity kind of makes that okay?
I think I'm still working on that one. I do find it difficult to price things. I'm getting better I'm sort of like been gradually putting my prices up and kind of expanding to get more money in. But yeah, I do find that difficult. But I think now that I've accepted that celebrity part of me, and I've been really, over the last couple of years, I've really kind of been focusing on raising my profile, because especially with the work I do, ceramics, it's like you have to have a certain profile to be able to charge the money for it. So I don't make functional wear because people aren't going to pay a lot. I make sculptures and pots, and so things that are more kind of art as opposed to craft, and me kind of having more of a name or being in the right galleries, things like that will help me to then like raise my prices. But I am still kind of like struggling with that price, pricing for people. But then my solution is to get a grant to do a project, and then people can come and they'll just pay a small amount, or they won't have to pay a lot. So that's kind of where I can see that working. So that's kind of my next step, is to get a grant for a 2-year project, and then I can create my installations, create my events, and invite people to them. And so that can kind of serve my people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good way to honor that part of, that connected part of you, because the alchemist sometimes is like, what is money? Who cares? Who needs money? And then the connector's like, everyone should have access to art and to death rituals, and everyone should have access to this. And then, but your celebrity can come in and go, yes, 80% of my work can be that, but maybe I can create, like really bespoke one-off pieces that are super expensive and unique, and and that funds the other stuff too. So it doesn't just have to come from the grants. It can be from, some like, this is just a limited thing that only a few, and because that's what attracts celebrities to buy, right? They want something that is no one else can have, and it's really expensive. And so I think you can just help your other side think about that by just going, well, that's funds that.
That's so true, Denise. And you know what I did recently? I was thinking, so what can I make that I can sell for like over £1,000? So I want to make a pot. So I bought some gold leaf, 22 karat gold leaf, so I can kind of like add that to it, and it kind of creates that luxury thing. But I totally get that. I really want to do more, and the sculptures and the pots that are kind of larger and more exclusive and limited edition, and definitely things like that. And I've got some collectors of my work, which is just, I love that. And there's one woman, she's got like 9 of my pots and still buying more, and it's just like, she is my ideal client. I want more of her, and she likes everything that I do, and that is just incredible. I really want more people like that. And but I know I attract people, and that can, as an introvert, I'm a massive introvert, I do find that a bit overwhelming. So I have to have that balance. And I think I've really learned to, yes, going out into the world and doing all this, but I have to have time before and after, just to kind of prepare and to recover, and just allowing myself that time. But also knowing that, I can work really hard for a certain amount of time, and then I need to take a step back and take a day off. In fact, my friend's arrived today. She's forcing me to take 2 days off. She's taking me away for 2 nights. And this morning I was thinking, oh God, I've got so much to do. I can't go away. But I know I'll appreciate it once I'm there.
Definitely. But I think there's that thing too of going, for that limited edition thing, but also when you're saying you've got all these fans, I think the reclusive celebrity is still a whole thing, right? We think sometimes that the celebrity part has to be the extrovert, but actually it's the rarity of that celebrity. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the fact that you can kind of almost play that up and just be like, yeah, it isn't for everybody, and it's special. And that's what really magnetizes people to say, oh, they don't do this for everybody, and she only does a couple of these a year, and you can't go and see her unless it's something that's really special, or I win a ticket, or it's just that rarity.
Yes, I like that. That works for me, Denise. Yeah.
I'd love to hear, and I'm sure our Europeans probably need to go as well. But just to finish off, and I'm happy to stay a little bit longer. I don't have a meeting for half an hour, but because I want to hear so much more about you guys. You're all so fascinating. And but I would love just to tick off my little bits. What message would you have for someone who's thinking about joining SMA?
I really got a lot out of SMA. I think it really helped me to understand myself and how I wanted to run my business. And similar to what Beatrice said, is giving myself permission to run my business in my own way, and to understand what my business model is and how it works. So I really recommend it. I think it's fantastic. It works really well with Money Bootcamp, and it just kind of gives you more of an insight into your own personality and creating a business that works for your life. I think that's the main thing. And it's also helped me to be aware of what to say no to and what to say yes to. So when I get opportunities, I kind of think about my archetypes, and that kind of helps me to think, well, is that a good fit for what I want, or where I want my business to be going in the future? Like, for instance, I don't want to do a membership, even though it looks like on paper it would be an ideal thing for me. Actually, I know that I'm not going to follow through because I'm an alchemist. So yeah, I really, really think it's been useful.
Has anyone got any ahas about their lowest archetype? So I can't remember what my exact lowest is, but I think it's either connector or celebrity. And I know that even during the filming, I was like, oh, I have to do celebrity last because it's so high maintenance. Like, we had to do, like a real set and shoes and make, like, it was a whole thing. And so I kept on going, well, celebrities are the last people to join, so whatever, I'll just keep it at the end. And even like, I totally sabotaged at the end because I put like a shoulder pad in, but they weren't big enough. So I put some socks in to make these shoulders like really big. And then you can see the sock hanging out. And I was like, oh, the celebrities are going to hate this. And because it was like an extra day, I said to my stylist, who was there for the whole week, I said to her, oh, you don't need to come in on that last day because we've just got to, get everything done, because I totally underestimated how long it took to film everything. And so I feel so bad that on the day that I really needed that stylist to like check my necklace and check all the things, I went, oh no, don't even worry about it. And so it just shows, again, like knowing what your last one is a real sign sometimes of either where your sabotages are, or I realized I can't make myself a celebrity to attract more celebrities because I literally cannot maintain it. And it's so not me that it's like a costume almost to do it. And so I just have to attract those celebrities who have those other archetypes, and they know that they can learn something from me, because they're not going to learn fashion from me. They're not going to learn those high. I even got a manicure for the celebrities, but it was I was like, it's not quite the right color. So that was my aha from my lowest one. But does anyone have anything they want to share about their low archetype too?
Yeah, I can't quite remember what my lowest was, but I think it might be like the nurturer. And I've always really struggled. Like, I've got a son, he's 14, but I've always really struggled with, being a mother, and because I've always put my work first, my creativity first, before my relationships. That for me has always come first. So I think that one is quite low. And it's interesting because I don't think I was very high on the Maverick, but partly because I'm not very good at putting myself out there and being really different. But I love Mavericks, and I think when I've met real Mavericks, they've brought that out of me, and so I really get a lot out of that. I really appreciate it. They make me be more bold and more confident and more weird and all those things that I really want to be, but I need someone to bring that out of me. So yeah.
So, are you a ruler, a connector, or a maverick? Hang on, maybe you're more of a romantic or a celebrity. Take the money personality quiz right now and find out which of the 8 money archetypes you are. And then I'm going to teach you how to profit from your strengths and make money in your business based on your natural personality. Click below and find out more.